Hey everyone, and welcome to another review here, reviewed by myself, a Spaniard. This one's pretty cool because it was a pretty big popular demand after I did the release of my last review to go ahead and do this popular series known as Cobra Kai. I'm a big fan mainly because I watched I guess, the sole foundation of where this series was built off of, and that, of course, is Karate Kid. Now, you're probably wondering, do you need to have to watch Karate Kid to appreciate this Netflix hit series? And the answer short is no. However, I'm telling you, if you do, you will have the utmost appreciation and the most geek out moments throughout the entirety of the series thus far. So I highly recommend it. If you don't, yes, you can still continue on with the series. It's pretty modern, easy to follow, and they do a ton of flashbacks. So you're always kept in the loop. So there's nothing that you have to worry about. Now, what essentially is Cobra Kai? Well, this is solely based off of season 1, so here we go. 34 years ago, 1984, is where the original Karate Kid took place. And it followed this kid, this loser that couldn't defend himself, that was taught by the great Mr. Miyagi. And he's one of those senseis that teach you about defense and brilliance and mind. And it's not all about, force and, no mercy, I guess you would say, on the side of the opposite end, which is Cobra Kai, the opposite dojo that they end up facing. So there's this huge tournament that they end up doing, and then lo and behold, Daniel LaRusso, who is the young main character in Karate Kid, overtakes the powerful, well-known dojo Cobra Kai. Most importantly, his huge rival, both in school and on the mat for the whole martial arts tournament, Johnny Lawrence, who is by far one of the coolest characters that has been developed over the last years. It's one of those characters that they portray in a negative way, but you can't help but just enjoy and love the fact of this character moving forward. It feels very personable at some points as well, so I think in a related kind of standpoint, it fits overall. So here we are. Johnny Lawrence loses the tournament to this, little kid, Daniel LaRusso, and then 34 years later, here we are now in the present time, he is successful. LaRusso has a dealership. He has a beautiful wife. He has 2 gorgeous kids. He's got everything. And most importantly, he is always reminded of that tournament win. It follows through within the valley in which he is now living in and grew up in. It's always reminded that how he won with that, style kick this way that was kind of, I guess, sensed as an illegal hit, but not really. Who knows the technical terms as far as that? And then it's just all, the best thing ever, right? Like, he is just in awe of his life right now, loving it. And then you have Johnny Lawrence, which is the complete opposite. He's in this rundown apartment complex. He is drinking every single hour, every single day. He has barely part-time jobs, and he gets let go many a times. And he is always in remembrance of this loss since 1984. So you have to feel in a stress level of this character still taking that with him throughout, that he just never was able to overcome it. Never able to succeed until one day where his drinking got him this opportunity to meet this young kid named Miguel. So he finds this kid. He's getting beat up in the middle of this, plaza area where he went to go get his alcohol or whatnot. And then there are these kids that are just fighting, beating each other up. And one of them gets thrown onto Johnny's car. Well, Johnny is obviously not defending the kid. He's he's defending his car, and then the martial arts breaks through. And it's at this point in time where I feel like you as a viewer, whether you're a huge fan or if you're just getting into the series, you start realizing what this series is going to be about, and it's just so exciting. It's like so cool the way they developed these characters and then still kept the martial arts very fresh and new, so it doesn't feel very wonky or slow like it might have back in the 1984 days of the Karate Kid. So lo and behold, this kid is now like a puppy. Miguel is falling over, great kid, young teenager in high school, you know, normal day to day, and then follows the stories of kind of like bullying, which something that's personal to me a little bit. So I really like that they brought that in, and that's a sense of martial arts as a whole, to feel good about yourself, to defend yourself in any kind of way and harm. And in this kind of series, it does bolster very well with bullying, defending yourself, you know, being proudful, and having something to look forward to that you can grow into, especially something that is as delicate or as fearful as martial arts. So then Johnny decides, okay, maybe this is what I need to do. Maybe this is my calling. I'll reopen Cobra Kai. I'll open my own dojo and I will be the sensei, unlike my sensei before me. So the series then starts to pretty much open up. The kids from the school start hearing, you know, hearsay. They say, hey, join Cobra Kai. Johnny Lawrence is a very fearful, very, I guess you could say negative at the beginning, kind of sensei in regards to the dojo of where it goes. He loses a lot of people, gains a lot of people, goes through. But then Daniel LaRusso's just taking a stroll, kind of going by, and then he sees, you know, this sign that says Cobra Kai, and it just sparks. The flashbacks go through. You start seeing all of the harm that they did when he beat him up as a kid, and remembering their sensei and all the negative and dirty things that they would do, including like trying to take them out and break their legs or whatever have you. And then the spark comes. Then the whole thing just blows into proportion against this great rivalry between LaRusso and Lawrence. The rest of the series, without getting too much into a spoiler as far as season 1, kind of then starts going into the kids. So LaRusso's daughter, Samantha, she is also big into martial arts as well. More so when she was younger, but as the story develops, and let's just say there may or may not be some love relationships involved, it definitely starts to spar off even more, which I love. The kids get involved in the martial arts. There's some great fight scenes that happen, especially for Miguel in the first season, that makes you root for him. And then, of course, against, you know, bullying in general. So as a whole, season 1 kind of comes together in that atmosphere. Now let's talk about that, because Karate Kid had this very oriental, you know, very traditional kind of atmosphere, where you had the school and the high school for where everything modern happened and that forth. But then, of course, as a dojo, it felt like you were being transcended into a different country, a different world with Mr. Miyagi. In here, it's more modern, I would say, but they do take the nostalgia and the traditions of those countries and what have you, and bring them forth, especially when it comes to the dojo scenes. That being said, it is a little slow at times when they're trying to explain new characters, so I found out. Like Robbie's character, who in fact is Johnny's kid. So Johnny does have a kid, but he's not in that good kind of transcendence with him. But Robbie ends up falling into the family of the LaRussos. Won't say how or why, but he then somehow feels appreciated, and then himself becomes engulfed in martial arts, but as I guess you could say a fighter for the LaRussos, or for Miyagi's sense of defense. So it really bolsters down to this. The saga does a great job, okay? This series as a whole does a great job of bringing back to life characters that were beloved in the 1980s. Not only that, but they mirrored those characters to develop into these kids to bring a whole new atmosphere of martial arts and fighting and dojos and senseis that we don't really see. And I think that's what really makes this series stand out. It's so fresh and it's different. Even though it's being brought in a series of 30 years from an original movie that came out, it's still its own originality. I don't want to get too much into spoilers or how it goes into the end, because I definitely want to go more into my season 2 review about how this is all going to go. But this is how I would rate this series. The story is fantastic. It tells a tale of two old rivals born and renew, and you can't help but side for both of them in your own way. Maybe you'll favor one over the other. I know I personally do. But then once the kids get involved, you then start developing relationship with them. I really liked Miguel's character. I thought it was played out very well. All the acting is done phenomenally. The music is spot on. They definitely have some throwbacks to 80s. They have some good old modern soundtracks that come in as well, and it has a good flow as well for the characters. I don't think there's an episode that you watch that once it gets to the end and you see that Cobra Kai end screen, that you don't look at your partner or your dog or your cat or whoever you're watching this series with and say, holy hell, we need to watch the next one, unless it's the last episode, which then you can just go right on to the next season. So overall, I do my reviews based on a 4-star. Cobra Kai season 1 does get a 4-star review. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. You just gotta sit down and watch it. And please, if you haven't watched Karate Kid, just do yourself a favor, just so as the series grows. And let me tell you, the series does grow. It doesn't stay in this bubble. It tries to do some new things and tries to spread out, and it works, and it's just incredible as a martial arts series. So 4 stars, Cobra Kai season 1s. If you like the video, please hit a like for me. I really appreciate it. And down below, please subscribe and leave me your comments. I really would appreciate it. We're going to be doing some giveaways very soon, so go ahead and follow me on my Facebook. It's right here. You can go ahead and like the Facebook to keep up with times. We also have some, other videos, and I have some gameplay going on. And then also follow me on my Twitter and then my Instagram as well. You can see them down below. So thank you all very much. I hope you really enjoyed this part series, I guess you could say, as far as reviews go. I'm really excited to finish the rest of them, and you all take care. Thank you so much.